Okay, fine. So last Friday, that is 31st of July, we had written the VHDL models for full adder and 3:8 decoder. And through these examples, we had explained what is data flow modeling style and behavioral modeling style. And we will take that particular thing ahead by directly flashing the Xilinx ISE and writing VHDL models for them. And then maybe if time permits, which I feel we should be introducing the structural modeling style. Is a project navigator window visible to you? Yes, is the project navigator window visible to the students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So first we will do full adder using data flow. Then we will do full adder using behavioral, 3:8 decoder using data flow, and 3:8 decoder using behavioral modeling style. So I will go to file, new project, and I will make sure the path is C:\Xilinx HST. Okay, C:\Xilinx HST. Yes, and I will give the name full add underscore DMS, indicating I am going to use data flow modeling style. I will do Control A, Control C, and then top level source type is HDL. Next, evaluation development board none specified, product category general purpose, family Spartan 3E, device 250E, package PQ208, speed -5. Synthesis tool, no option. Simulator, ISIM, language, VHDL, go down, and source standard 93. I will say next and say finish. Okay. So having the implementation radio button selected here, go to target line, right click, new source, select VHDL module, go and paste the name here, reassure that it is selected properly, add to project, next. Here I will not do anything because I want to write the code myself. Okay, so I will just say next, finish. Okay, close the design summary, float, and I will delete all the comments. Remember in the block diagram, we had defined AI, BI, CI as the inputs. Sum and carry are the outputs. Last signal, so no semicolon. This completes our entity declaration. Okay, it was already there. Fine. I will just write the Boolean expressions. Sum is assigned AI, XOR, BI, XOR, CI. Okay, so AI.bi odd with bi.ci odd with ai.ci. So I feel that our data flow modeling style is over. We will see if it is correct. Okay, to have practice, we can also copy the two statements, modify them to unsigned. Docker window, and we'll select the VHDL file, go to synthesize, and just double click. So it is telling synthesize XST completed successfully. We will see what is our RTL schematic by double clicking this option. Here we have, so the block diagram is there, AI, BI, CI inputs to the left, sum and carry outputs to the right, and the entity name is written here. We'll go inside and see what are the details. We see here AI and CI are ANDed. Okay, again CI and BI are ANDed, and again we see that AI and BI are ANDed, and all three are actually ORed to get the carry. And if we see the sum, we can go inside and see what is there inside this. So the three inputs are going inside. So we go here. It is simply using an XOR block here. Okay, there's nothing inside. So we will close this. We'll see a technology schematic. Go inside, zoom to full view, and we see here that all the three signals are entering into the chip through input buffers iBuff, and there are two 3 input LUTs, LUT3 first and LUT3 second, and we will see what is the logic implemented inside the LUT for implementing carry. Go inside, schematic is there, so it is AND OR logic, equation, truth table is there, and there is a K map. Okay, if we go here for the sum block, it's quite complex. It is basically implemented XOR gate. So it is a 3 input XOR gate, AI XORed with BI XORed with CI. This is the equation, truth table, and the K map. Okay, so if we combine the K map for sum, and if we combine the K map, for sum and carry, then we will get the two columns in the truth table of full adder. Okay, so synthesis part is over. What I will do is that I will see how I can convert this particular model into the model for BMS. So what I will do is that I will not change anything. I will just change the names. Okay, I will see if I can change the entity name. So it is not possible for me to change the entity name. Okay, no issues. What I will do is I will do Control A, Control C. I'll go to my desktop. I'll copy this into some notepad. I will just say this and keep it as it is. Okay, I will go to File, New Project. Change the name to full add underscore BMS to indicate that I am going to write a VHDL model for full adder using behavioral modeling style. As usual, all other options are same. Everything else is same, non-specified, general purpose, Spartan 3E, 250E, PQ208 -5. Go to next, say finish. Here I go to the design window, make sure that not simulation, but implementation radio button is selected. Go to target line, right click, new source, select VHDL module, and I will just write down full add underscore BMS. Okay, this, and I will reselect this, add to project, say next, and here I will not write anything. I will just say next, finish. Okay, I will close the design summary window. I will float this and I will do Control A and I will delete everything. Then I will go to my desktop and I will say Control A, Control C, go back to the tool, and here I will say Control V. Okay, I will change the names accordingly. We'll say BMS. Also, I want the architecture name to follow the previous nomenclature, that is entity name underscore arch. So I will say underscore arch. Change the entity name to BMS, and I will copy the architecture name and I will paste it here as end architecture. Okay, I'll just make some few modifications so that this model now conforms to behavioral modeling style. So as we know that behavioral modeling style is characterized by process keyword, process, all the inputs, AI, BI, CI, all the inputs. Then I will say begin, and inside begin I am having these statements, these two statements. I will just put them a tab like this, and I will just say end process. Okay, so what I have done compared to data flow modeling style is I have enclosed my Boolean expressions for sum and carry within the process clause. Let us see if our syntax is correct. So I will say doc, I will say save all, expand the synthesized tree, and double click this. Let us go and see RTL schematic. There is no change in the logic here as before. Close this, open technology schematic, go inside. We are again seeing there is no change. So by changing the modeling style from data flow to behavioral, our RTLs as well as technology schematics are remaining the same. How to go to the previous project? You can close this. You can go to start, and here we are having that project DMS. You can double click this and we will see that our previous model is opening. See here, there is no process clause here, and the names are also full add underscore DMS. And we see that here RTL schematic is same. So you have to wait for the synthesis to get over. Same as before. Technology schematic, same as before. There's no difference. Okay. Okay, same. So now we will go for data flow modeling style of 3:8 decoder. Okay. So I'll flash temporarily the nodes. So it's here. So this was our decoder, and this is our entity declaration and the architecture body. We are going to do this in the tool now. So I go to file, it's a new project, and I will say decoder 38 underscore DMS. So I'm going to write a VHDL model for 3:8 decoder using data flow modeling style. I will say Control A, Control C, and all the configurations remain unchanged as before. Say next. Quickly, I will just go through all the configurations of hardware. Everything is perfect. You can say next, and you can say finish. Here, I go to target line, ensuring that the implementation radio button is selected. Right click, new source, VHDL module. I'll paste this and it will become my entity name, ensuring again everything is properly selected. Next, and here I will not do anything because I want to manually type the code. So I will say next. Okay. Maybe I can change the architecture name here. Say next. Say finish. Okay. Close the design summary. Float. And delete. Okay. I can copy this. I can change this to unsigned. Okay. Now I'll start defining the entity declaration signals as per the block diagram. Port, parenthesis. Okay. So again, I'll refer to. So this is my block diagram. So I is 3-bit vector, Y is 8-bit vector, I is input and Y is output. So I space colon in standard underscore logic underscore vector, and in inputs we don't have we do have significance, so it will be 2 down to 0. Y colon out standard underscore logic underscore vector, and it is 0 to 7. Okay, please make sure that you are not typing a capital O here. See, there is a very small difference in the appearance of O and 0. So this is O to 7 and this is 2 down to 0. Okay, so this is capital O. You are not supposed to write a capital O, it is 0. Okay, because Y is the last signal, so I am not going to put a semicolon. And so my entity declaration seems to be over. Go to architecture body, and I will use data flow modeling style, that is when else. As I told you, I can say Y is assigned. Okay, so versus active high, so we want only one output to be 1, remaining 7 should be 0. Okay, good. So I will say 1 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, Y is assigned 1 followed by 7 zeros when I equal to double quote 0 0 0 else. So what we will do, we'll copy this statement 7 more times. 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, go on changing 0 1 0 0 1 0 1 0 0 1 1 1 0 0 1 0 1 1 1 0 1 1 1. Okay, and we'll go on shifting this thing. Okay. So is one shifting? I think so it's shifting properly. Okay, I think so I put one greater zero. Okay. Yeah. So as I told you that in the Venel's clause, in the last combination you are not supposed to put anything. No need to write down when I equal to triple one. Just delete this and just put a semicolon, right? So I is equal to this when 0 0 1, else this when I equal to 0 0 1 0 1 0 0 1 1 1 0 0 1 0 and 1 1 0. Okay, I feel that our data flow modeling style is over, so we can just see if there are any syntax errors inside. So I will just say right click doc and I will say select the VSGL file, expand the tree synthesis XST and say double click. If you have any errors, they will be caught immediately. We are through. Let us see what is the schematic here. Okay, so input side there is a 2 down to 0 vector, the 3-bit input of decoder, and output is 0 to 7, so it is written 0:7. Let's go inside and we see there's something inside. It's ROM. It has used the ROM inside. There are ready-made ROMs available. It has been used inside. We'll not go into the details now here. Let us see what is technology schematic. Same block diagram. Let us see what is inside. All the signals are going. So let us zoom and see what are the details. Any one block. Okay, any one block. So we see that the technology schematic consists 8 identical blocks. LUT3 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So 8 3 input LUTs have been used. Let us go and see what are the details inside the 3 input LUT. Double click and we see that it has implemented some logic according to this equation. Okay, there's a truth table and there's a K map. Okay, we do not know whether this particular thing is correct or not, but if we write a test bench for that, we will come to know that it is correct. So we will write a test bench, right? So there are no synthesis errors. So the synthesis of 3:8 decoder using data flow modeling style is over. Now what I will do is that I will do Control A, Control C, and I'll put it in the same notepad which I used before. I will say delete and I will put it here, and I'll use it again for writing the behavioral modeling style. So I will go say file, new project. Let me first copy this, say Control C, file, new project, and I will say underscore BMS, indicating it's a behavioral modeling style. All the configurations remain the same. I will say finish. Select implementation mode, select target line, right click, new source, VSGL module, paste, make sure it is selected, next. Maybe I can change the architecture name to what I want. Okay, fine. BMS. Okay, fine. Next, finish. Close the design summary. Float it. do Control A, delete. Go to your notepad, say Control A, Control C, go back to your tool and just say Control V. Now we are going to change some names. BMS entity declaration remains the same. Fine. So now we are going to make changes here. So if I want to use behavioral modeling style, what I can do is I can say process. Only one input is there. Say begin. Okay. So yesterday, I mean last session, one student was asking that, sir, can I write concurrent statements within concurrent statements? So now we are having the when else construct here. So this is a concurrent construction, and I'm embedding a concurrent construction within another concurrent construction. So we will see if we are getting errors or not. So it will be clear that can we embed concurrent constructs within concurrent constructs. Let the tool tell. Okay. So process sensitivity list begin, and I have written my logic here for the decoder, and end process is there. I think so I'm done. Let us save all, doc, and we'll see if it is possible. It is giving some error. Let us read what is error. Errors. Unexpected when expecting semicolon. Okay. So line number 24. So it is telling there is an error. Okay. So expecting a semicolon. So this actually does not have any explanation, but because I have been doing coding for some years, I know that this is not possible. So the conclusion is that it is not possible to embed concurrent constructs within concurrent constructs. What we will do is that we will replace this concurrent construct with if then else clause, but I will be saving some time. Okay, so I will say if I equal to, so what I will do is that I will copy this if I equal to this n. Okay, and I will copy this statement here. Okay, semicolon. And I will say else if let's say else if I equal to 0 0 1. I'll go on deleting whatever is over. because it is the last one, simply okay. So we have to make some changes here. Okay, I'll also put semicolon after every statement. Okay. So there is one if here. So we have to have one end if here before end process. Okay. Seems to be fine. Let us see what does the tool say. I feel all my combinations are over. Let us see if there are some errors, they will be indicated. Say run. Very good. So we have successfully modeled it using BRL modeling cell. Let us see what is there inside. We get the same kind of structure inside. ROMs are used. Technology schematic. Go inside. Same thing has been used. Okay. What is more interesting is to write a test bench and we have to see that how one is being shifted. Okay. So I will write a test bench for this. So I will go to simulation button and I will go to target line and I will say right click, new source, select VHDL test bench and I will give a name similar to my entity name but with some indication. I will say let the name be _TB. Why I am doing this is that my test bench is also another VHDL program. So after the wizard of test bench creation is completed, it will create another VHDL file. But if my test bench program's name and my main program's name is same, there will be a name conflict. That is why it is a fundamental rule to give the test bench file a name which is different than the entity name. So I have given the name decoder 38 _BMS _TB. I'll again make sure test bench is selected, add to project is checked. I will say next. I will say next and I will say finish. I'm not explaining this test because in the next lecture, maybe next to next, I'm going to start how to write a test bench. Okay. So again, I will go and say float and I will delete all the comments from the tool side. I'll delete the comments and I do not have clock in my system. So I will delete the clock statement. I will also delete the clock generation process here. And what I will do is I'm going to write some processes for generating all the inputs, right? So I will say delete and I will just name as stimproc _I and I will write some logic here. Okay. So I will say I is assigned I incremented by 1. Okay. See now, if we carefully observe this particular thing, we see that this particular truth table, which indicates functionality of 3-state decoder, the inputs I2, I1 and I0, they are going from 0, 0, 0 to 1, 1, 1. And if we see mathematically, every next combination is 1 added to the previous one. So if I add logical 1 to 0, 0, 0, I get 0, 0, 1. If I add 1 to 0, 0, I get 0, 1, 0. That is why the same thing I'm implementing in the test bench in this form. So I'm writing I is assigned I plus 1 and what I will do is that I will say that you have to increment it every I can say every 10 nanoseconds. Okay, so I'm writing a logic for incrementing the input I every 10 nanoseconds And what is the initial value of I? The initial value of I has been set here to 0, 0, 0. Okay, so intentionally I will not do something here, but I will show after the test bench is run. Okay, so just wait. So I think so that my logic for generating input test vectors from 000 to 111 is over. Let me go and see what the tool has to say about that. So I go here and now it is telling me some error. So I go to simulation, I expand the tree and I select this thing, the test bench program, go to ISIM simulator and say behavioral check syntax. Yeah, there are two errors now. So yeah, so it is telling me error in this line and in this line. Okay, so it is telling architecture ignored due to previous errors in the behavior, right? So there is some problem with the architecture name. No issues, we will deal it later. But this is an important error which is being given. Found zero definitions of operator plus cannot determine exact overloading matching definition for plus VHDL. Now this error has come because my signal I, if we see my signal I in the main program is standard logic vector, that is it is of the binary type. And here in the test bench I have written I is assigned I plus 1. Now in the previous sessions I told you that if any value is given without any codes, that means it is regarded as integer. So here I have written I is assigned I plus 1. I is of the type standard underscore logic, but 1 because it is not enclosed in single quotes, it is taken as integer. Just like in C, you cannot add two different data type values directly. You have to do what is called as type conversion. Similarly, here also there are two solutions. I can either define this as binary and I can see if I am getting a removal of error. Okay, so error has gone. There is another way also I'll tell you how to do that. Yeah, so again the same error is coming. That means what? My solution did not work. So what I will do is that I will go and I will add one library statement here, that is unsigned.all. Okay, so I will go and I will paste this statement there and I hope that the error will be removed. Okay, check syntax is coming. Very good. See, so this is how it is. So when I wrote I is assigned I plus 1, I is of the type standard underscore logic data type, and 1 because it is not enclosed in single quotes, it is taken as integer. So automatic type conversion is done between standard underscore logic data type and integer. If I simply add this particular library statement, use IEEE dot standard logic unsigned dot all. So now my test bench program is correct. Now I'll just say simulate behavioral model and let us see if we get the correct waveforms. Yeah, I'm getting something. Let us go and float the waveform window. After doing this, I will go and say zoom to full view. And yes, I'm getting something. So very good. See, this is how it is. Okay. Are able to see the decoder? This is how it is. I'll explain this. You see here, the inputs are going from 001, 010, 011, 100, 101, 110, 111, and 000. Okay, and corresponding to every input combination here, only one of the outputs. So this is how I expand the bus. If we see the outputs, every combination you see, only one of the output is 1. Okay, so for 001, y1 is 1. For 010, y2 is 1. 011, y3 is 1. 100, y4 is 1. 101, you see y5 is 1. 110, y6 is 1. For 111, y7 is 1. And then when we have 100, we see that y0 is 1. So why our inputs are starting from 001? Because I have initialized it to 1. 111. So what I will do, I will close this and I will change the test bench program. What I will do is I will initialize the input I vector from 000 to 111. This is called as an aggregate operator. This aggregate operator will assign all three bits of I, that is I bracket 2, I bracket 1 and I bracket 0 to 111. So again, I will do check syntax and I will see how my waveforms will now start from 000 and they will go to 111 and roll back. I will again say float. I will say zoom to full view. I will zoom to get the combinations inside. I will take the scroll bar like this and I will see here, and we see here my first combination is 000. It is going from triples, and we can see very beautifully how one is being shifted here. You see here? Yeah, so one is shifting now. Okay, y0, y1, y2, y3, y4, y5, y6 and y7 when the inputs are going from 000 to 111. That's how it is. Okay, this is how we are verifying the functionality of this thing. Now listed is last session I told you that we can also put an enable here. So see, now what I'm doing is that I'm adding one enable signaler, chip enable, like this. So you can add signals here. I will say enable is a signal, 1-bit signal. So logic. Okay, so I'm defining one chip enable signal en, and now what I'm doing is that here I'm putting a nested if. I will say if en equal to 0. Okay, so my system now becomes an active high enable signal. So when the enable is 0, then my system will act as a decoder. Okay, so what I will do some shifting of the code. Okay, I will just say tab. Okay, I'm tabbing it, and now I'm telling if en equal to 0, then if I is equal to 000, then you follow the logic. And here what I will do, I will write one else here. Okay, else. So when I say else, this else means what should be done if enable comes as 1. So when I've written if en equal to 0, then execute this logic, and when I say else, it actually refers to en equal to 1. So else I will say y is assigned high impedance state. This is how I write high impedance state. Okay, control C, and I will just write down, I will just say 8 times z, z 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, and I'm saying semicolon. Okay, and now because I'm using two ifs, I have to use two end ifs also. So this end if is for the decoder logic. Okay, and I'll put another end if here. Okay, now I change the main program, so there are some errors. Else syntax error. Okay, actually I forgot to put the closing this thing, that is what is giving an error. This will be resolved now, no issues. Okay, so I did not put the closing quotes. Okay, it's giving an error here. So okay, actually I'm supposed to put an end if here. Yeah. I think so insert has got pressed. Okay. Okay, it has given me warnings. One or more signals are missing in the process sensitivity list. Okay, this is a very classic error. Now see here in the entity declaration, I have added one more input signal, and in the process sensitivity list, I did not include it, so it has given me a warning. Okay, so this is how it is. As I told you that all the input signals must be mentioned in the sensitivity list. Okay, fine. So now I think so we should be through. We are through. Now in the test bench program also I have to write one more process for enable. So I will just copy this. I will just say like this, and I will say let this process be for en. And now what I will do, I will disable. Okay, so I will say en is assigned single tick 0, and I will say wait for all 8 combinations. So I will say 8. So I will say 120 nanoseconds. So for 12 cycles, so our decoder needs 8 cycles to execute. 4 more cycles I'm giving. I will say en is assigned single tick 1 semicolon. I will say wait for at least 5 cycles, 50 nanoseconds, and then I will say again enable the system, and I will say wait. Okay, so remember, you understand. So what I'm doing is that I'm keeping enable as 0, that my system is enabled, and I'm keeping en is equal to 0 for 120 nanoseconds. My decoder needs 8 cycles, that is 80 nanoseconds for completing the inputs from 000 to 111. So for 12 cycles my enable is remaining 0, then I'm making it 1, and my system is remaining disabled for 50 nanoseconds. After that again I'm making it 0 and I'm saying wait. So my test bench program has been modified. I will go to simulation and I will say behavioral check syntax. Let us see what effects we get in the simulation waveforms. There is an error here. En is not declared. Okay, yeah. So I have to define en from here. I can pick it up from here. I can put it here. Okay. And I will also initialize it here. I need not initialize it. En. And I will say here en comma. Okay, I think so it should work. Great. We will now see the simulation. Okay, please note the values of 120 nanoseconds, 50 nanoseconds, and then wait. Okay, yes, so we are here. We'll say float, and I will say zoom to full view. You see here, beautiful. See, I'll explain how it works. See my enable. See, I will zoom the scale for you. My enable is remaining 0 till 120 nanoseconds, right? So my system is enabled to work as a decoder from 0 nanoseconds to 120 nanoseconds. From 120 nanoseconds for the next 50 nanoseconds, that is 120 to 170 nanoseconds, en is 1, so system is disabled. During this time we see that output of the system is high impedance state. After that again en is equal to 0, system is enabled. Okay, so I'll zoom it. You see here, this is how it is. Okay. Okay, so from 0 to 120 nanoseconds, that is from here, from 0 to 120 nanoseconds, my system is working as a perfect decoder. You see, so 0 0 0 y0 is 1, y1 is 1, y2 is 1, y3 is 1, y4 is 1, y5 is 1, y6 is 1, y7 is 1. Now after 80 nanoseconds my one cycle of decoder is over. Again the cycle starts. Again 0 0 0 y01, 0 0 1 y1 is 1, 0 1 0, y2 is 1, 0 1 1, y3 is 1. So at 120 nanoseconds, suddenly En becomes 1, and when it becomes 1, my chip is disabled, and you see here all the outputs are pulled to Z state. You see the output is Z Z Z Z Z Z Z, right? So as long as the enable is remaining En equal to 1, my outputs are neither 0 nor 1, but they are pulled up to high impedance state. And after that, we see after 120 nanoseconds, again my enable is becoming 0, system is again into the enable state, and according to the inputs 000 to 111, then we are seeing that the output of decoder is showing one value as 1 in one of the outputs, all remaining are remaining 0. All outputs are remaining 0. This is how actually you can go on adding different signals into the entity declaration, and you can see the simulation also here. Okay, so this was the synthesis and simulation of 3:8 decoder. Yes, so any student is having any doubts in the discussion? Done? Yes, any doubts?
No, sir.
Yeah, okay, fine, let me show you something else. So what we will do is that we will go here, and I will say files, I will say design start, and I will say full adder underscore DMS. Okay, we are opening the project, and okay, so I'll go to simulation and write a test bench. What I'm doing is I'm writing a test bench for my full adder. It will complete in only 2 minutes. Finish. Okay. Delete. Delete. My system is not having any clock, so delete the clock period statement. Delete the clock generation process, and here we'll convert this into the process for the first input AI, and I will not do anything. I will just delete these statements, and I will simply write down a statement: AI is assigned not of AI semicolon wait for 100 nanoseconds. Okay, I'll copy this process twice, and I will convert it into processes for BI and CI. Okay, control V, control V. So I will convert this into the process for BI. I will change this to BI. BI gets not of BI. Change the time period to 50% because the second bit is 2 times faster. Go here, make it into CI. CI gets not of CI, and change this to half of the previous one, that is 25. And up here I will initialize AI, BI and CI to 1, 1 and 1. Okay, control S. I think so I've written the process for generating all the inputs to the full adder. Control S, dock the tool. Syntax check is over. Go to simulation. Fine. So here we are. So wallet combination. So here, so we see here, you can see this particular column of value. So the cursor is going to, the vertical cursor will cut all 5 signals and they will give the values here, right? So when I'm at 0, 0, 0, so 0, 0, 0 is sum 0 with a carry 0. 0, 0, 1, sum 1 carry 0. 0, 1, 0, sum 1 carry 0. 0, 1, 1, sum 0 carry 1. 1, 0, 0, sum 1 carry 0. 1, 0, 1, sum 0 carry 1. Okay, and then we have 1, 1, 0, sum 0 carry 1, and 1, 1, 1 is sum 1 with a carry 1. Okay, so if you actually understand waveform generation in VHDL and if you understand the truth table properly, it is only a 2 minutes job to write a test bench program. It is very easy provided you practice it. So this was all from my side for demonstrating data flow modeling styles and behavioral modeling styles for full adder and 3-state decoder. And we also have written test benches for full adder as well as 3-state decoder. And we also learned how to pull, what to say, our system into the Z state. Yeah, it's like this. Okay, fine.